The first tower defense games I ever played were on flash game websites and my Nintendo DS, and ever since then I have really appreciated the genre overall, especially on mobile because of how well the controls work on touchscreen. Now anytime I see a half decent looking tower defense game releasing on mobile, I know I have to give it a try, and this time it is Candy Disaster. Let's get right into it. Candy Disaster's art style is so polished, whether it be the 2D models that appear during dialogue or the 3D models that appear during gameplay. All of it is super polished and has a ton of personality and charm to it. And then the soundtrack and sound design are just as good. There's a sound effect for everything in this game, and the soundtrack is super catchy. No complaints when it comes to the art style and sound design of this game. Now, the gameplay of Candy Disaster is actually pretty par for the course when it comes to this genre of game. Now, there's various levels, and those levels have different difficulty levels that you have to unlock by getting a great score your first time through on the level. Now, on top of that, each level has its own layout and different places that you can place traps. Now, traps range from traps in the sky, traps on walls, traps on the floor, and you can mix and match these traps in order to synergize them and do as much damage as possible and prevent enemies from getting to your portal, so to speak. If there's a certain amount of enemies that reach the portal, then you will die. Now, I really do love the variety of traps on offer, and they're all really goofy, and some of them are actually pretty unique. And it seems like every single new level introduces a new trap or new mechanic or new enemy type into the mix, and it always feels fresh and satisfying to discover. Also, the level design of every level in this game is actually really well done. I feel like the difficulty curve was just perfect, and you really do have to change up your strategy every single level because the layouts almost force you to do so you can't just get comfortable by doing the same thing over and over again, which is a pretty common problem in a lot of other tower defense games. It's important to note that each level only allows you to bring a certain number of traps into that level, so you have to pick from the ginormous pool of traps and strategize what you want to bring into the level and what you want to be able to utilize, which adds a cool strategic depth that I've only seen in a few other tower defense games. You can also level up and strengthen your traps during gameplay in real time, which provides a lot of unique strategic choices and that extra layer of depth during gameplay. Candy Disaster's controls are actually pretty simple. They only consist of tapping and dragging, and they are really well done and play really good on an iPad as well as a phone. However, in certain dialogue options, the dialogue is actually covered partially by the white bar at the bottom of the screen. And unfortunately, Apple doesn't have a way to remove this bar at all, which I don't understand why, but until then, just know that that's an issue. Now, on top of that, there is also a ton of graphical options that will make this run well on any phone that is supported by this game. It's really well done and no complaints to speak of. What's really weird and strange is that there were two versions of Candy Disaster available on the App Store for download. One was free and it seemed to be a demo version of the game, and then there was another one that was separate that was a premium version of the game available for $4.99. So I bought that one, and it doesn't have any in-app purchases to speak of, and you get the entire game for that price tag. However, since then, both of these versions have been removed from the App Store, and it's being re-released for a free price tag to pre-order in May, which is super strange. So I think they probably put these two together and it's a free demo version, and then you can purchase the premium version of this game in-app purchases within the game itself, if that makes sense. So just be aware of that. You can still pre-order this game if you like what you've seen in this review, and then you can buy the full game within the app, which I assume is the case, but just be aware of that. All in all, Candy Disaster is one of my favorite tower defense games on mobile now. It really does have a perfect difficulty curve, great level design, and it consistently adds in new mechanics to keep things fresh and satisfying to play. This is a no-brainer for $4.99. Definitely pick this up if you're a fan of tower defense games. The link to the game is in the description down below. Alright guys, that was my review for Candy Disaster. Don't forget to leave a like, pop a sub, and comment. It really helps me out, and thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you want to see more content from me, check out any of the links in the description down below. I hope you guys are staying safe, and take it easy.